Do you want to do this?
Let's do it.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
In Cruton.
It's This Week in Recruiting. Every time it hits. It's This Week in Recruiting.
I did a special one today.
With Greg Powers and Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter. Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. I went there on Friday.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Wasn't that my suggestion?
That sounds awesome.
I went there on Friday. And I got my usual, which is it's the number one combo. I need a little bit of their jalapeno ranch is really good. Because you're a ranch person.
Have I tried it?
I don't know. Maybe you're a purist.
That's
I
fair.
don't know your
That's
life.
Fair. No, I always get ranch and I always get gravy, so I can do the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and then
also that's a temperature change because the ranch is served cold. So
that's
next
good.
level.
Got the corn nugs.
Next level ranch connoisseur. Can you deem me? Am I a 5-star?
I mean, there's nothing that's on that menu that's not a 5-star.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. And there's certain times that it slaps or hits different. And this is the type of season to go to Chicken Express, like fall.
Yeah, it's fall weather. It's fall food. The guy did try to upsell me at the end. He's like, "Would you like a cookie or a pie for $1?" And I'm like, "Oh God,
yes.
but no, not today. I need to circle back to him."
I'll make a commitment. I'll go ahead and do it.
We have breaking news.
I'm going to upgrade to the pie now.
Okay.
So I can report back on how I like it.
There we go.
Come back next Wednesday for a full report on the Chicken Express pies.
Or the Wednesday after. One of the Wednesdays.
It's going to happen at some point. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers and Next Level Athlete. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, we're going down to the Houston area to Richmond Foster to talk about their safety/running back, Ashton Ojaku, who has been spectacular to start the year. He's got big new offers. He's already got offers from places like Houston and SFA and Army and Incarnate Word. He's added offers from places like UNLV, Vanderbilt, Yale, Texas Southern, and Holy Cross. A 3-year starter. I know him as a running back. You're listing him here as a safety, which I presume is where you think he'll stick in the next level.
Yeah, and watching this senior tape, I mean, he does make a lot of plays at running back, and he's so valuable to them on the offensive side of the ball that his stats are kind of skewed to offense as well. But I think his highest upside in college may be safety, and I really enjoy that he's kind of taken off in recruiting because I think he's the best football player on Richmond Foster's team.
Yeah,
I'm going with. I think he's the best overall.
I think he's our most important piece right now. They've got some really good defenders too.
Yeah, and I want to see him, have these opportunities. So now he's got a couple of P5 opportunities in the bag with Vanderbilt, and then I categorize Houston as P5. I guess that's okay, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like we're saying Houston's P5 now. So he does have a couple of good options, one close to home and then one, of course, in the SEC. And whenever you see this many offers coming in, like in September, that means schools who watch his tape, all are watching the tape, are like, yeah, we got to offer this guy. It's a little late for some schools. They may have already filled the position of need there, but schools that are still looking for a guy who's 6 foot 190, can play multiple positions, could be a thumper in the defensive secondary. Go ahead and take a look at this talented guy from Richmond Foster.
Ashton Ojaku is a name to know, not only as a recruit, but also as a high school football player the rest of the way. Let's go to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week. Am I reading this correctly?
You are.
Oh,
I knew you would enjoy
Powers,
it.
Why?
Get your guns up, folks. Coppell's star cornerback Braxton Myers is committed to Ole Miss. Had offers from all over the SEC, including LSU, Auburn, and Arkansas. Had offers from places like Clemson and USC. We've got him as a 4-star, number 24 in the DCTF Hot 100. But Ole Miss gets the services of Braxton Myers, who, have to say, big fan.
Yeah, and I think this is a huge pickup. He was a one-time USC verbal commitment, backed off of that pledge. Ole Miss was like the leader in the clubhouse the entire time since he made that decommitment, so he finally kind of made things official, really kind of referenced the attention and the that type of stuff, the love that Ole Miss showed him throughout the recruiting process that kind of tipped the scales in their favor. And I really like him because he's a technique sound defender. He's a guy who really gets it from the X's and O's perspective. He's been well coached. His father was a really good football player as he was coming up as well. As of course, as you guys have followed this recruitment, you know that. And Braxton is a guy who I think will have a chance to shine in the SEC. I think he can play corner. I think he could also play safety. And because of his versatility, and because you can depend upon him, I think he's a guy who could see early action as well at the college level.
So Ole Miss has been interesting because I had to look this up. Ole Miss is pretty interesting in the sense that they don't come into Texas all that much, but like they're
it's impactful.
They're choosy.
Yeah.
They're choosy, and they tend to be around the DFW Metroplex. Like last year, they had the kid Kieran Heath from Mansfield Legacy. The year before, they had a pair of guys in J.J. Henry from McKinney, McKinney North rather, and then Denton Braswell's Eric Cade. So they have a sweet spot. Lane Kiffin has a sweet spot there at DFW Metroplex, and this would fall into that category.
Yeah, and this year they've got a pair of defenders from the DFW. In addition to Braxton Myers, they also have a commitment from Daniel Demery at Dallas Parish Episcopal, another player who I was really impressed with this season when I watched them play against South Oak Cliff. Demery is another one of these guys who fits in that same mold. He is a team leader. He makes the defensive calls, and he's very dependable. So I think they've done a really good job. And, of course, they've got, like Zach Evans on their roster right now who's making waves. And I think Ole Miss is going to continue. I think Ole Miss has a chance to be good in Texas every year, and you can look back to see some of the success they've had in the past. The name that always jumps to the forefront of my mind is Greg Little.
Yes, of course. Yes. I feel like I know that name. This week in recruiting with Greg Powers, the next level athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation and hashtag TF today. Let's roll on to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, let's go to the capital city, Austin Vandegrift's 2024 junior large child offensive tackle, Blake Frazier, who clocks in at 6'6" and 260 as a junior. Anyway, he picked up offers this week from rivals Baylor and TCU. He adds that to a growing list that already includes Houston, A&M, UTSA, Colorado, and most notably Michigan on this list. We normally don't spotlight Michigan here on Texas Football Today, but it seems relevant here.
His dad, Steve, played at Michigan in my formative years, which would have been, I think, 95 through 98. So I definitely remember his dad. This was and he looks, even on the tape, kind of wearing that 77 out there playing right tackle. He kind of looks like a Michigan offensive lineman. But school's going to come after him. Austin Vandegrift has a very talented offensive line. They got Ian Reed playing left tackle, who's committed to Clemson, and now they got Frazier playing right tackle, who could with A&M, Michigan, some others really coming after him. I think that he's going to have a chance to kind of pick what school he wants to go to. Why I like his overall upside as a recruit, as he has the frame to develop into a complete monster. I mean, he's long, lean. He doesn't look too skinny on tape. He's strong enough to push guys around and bully guys around, but he still has the developmental upside to add another easy 30 to his, maybe 40 to his frame. And I almost caught myself saying, and transition to the Big Ten, because in your mind you think, he's going to play for Michigan. That's where his dad played. But I don't think that that's necessarily a certainty when you're in Austin.
No, it's not as, those things can be informative, but not necessarily, that's not destiny. You know what I mean? We've seen it time and time again of players that don't go where their dad was a star.
I will say that he visited Michigan a week or so back, and they rolled out the red carpet for him and made him a priority recruit. And so he's already been on a visit up there, and he said it was pretty cool kind of walking through his dad's hood, I guess,
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty cool. You're an Ohio State. You grew up as an Ohio State fan, though, right?
So you don't think that's pretty cool?
I don't root for any teams.
We'll round it all out before we get him in trouble. We'll round it all out with our Recruit of the Week. Our Recruit of the Week is Spring Decaney's 2023 wide receiver, Jonah Wilson. He's our Recruit of the Week because of what he's not doing anymore, which is being committed to Texas. He decommitted from the Longhorns this week. He is having a very strong year down there at Decaney. He's got 16 scholarship offers, places like Houston, Arkansas, Ohio State, LSU, and Baylor on the list. But this is a guy who is now open for business. I wouldn't rule out Texas to get a recommit, but certainly the Longhorns got to be feeling like they're in a weaker position than they were before this.
And I guess in state, a school that I'm watching pretty closely is Houston in this. He's taken a couple visits there. They're making a strong push for him. As a matter of fact, they do pretty good. The Cougars do pretty good in Decaney in general. So that's one that I'm really have my radar up for the Houston Cougars in this battle. But he has other options as well. Be interesting to see where this one goes. I think this one kind of caught Texas fans, recruiting analysts unawares a little bit. This was kind of a surprise. A couple weeks ago, he had a game where he was going against, there were a couple of Texas recruits, and a lot of the media was down there. He had was throwing up the hook 'em and everything. After the game, it didn't take long for that to unwind. It always begs the question in my mind when you talk about recruiting, how much do these guys really know at that time? Are they, what's it in the back of his mind? These Texas reporters are here to see me, but I'm going to decommit.
Oh, it's,
you know what I mean? I guess it's case to case, but did he know?
Oh, there's certainly, look, I think you've been around this game long enough to know that there are certainly, why are you playing zero coverage against them? Sorry.
Not a good idea.
Because that's
sorry,
what
I looked
happens.
up and I'm like, there are no safeties deep. I'm like, that's a bad idea. There are definitely guys who want the recruiting, spotlight and story and stuff like that, and be that. I'm certainly not saying that that's Jonah Wilson. I'm saying that there are those players who do that, and then there are other players who are like, I look at it like a guy like Arch Manning. Arch Manning was just like I know everyone wants to hear from me. I'm just going to put out on my Twitter account once and say I'm going to Texas. That's it. There are people. There's definitely people on both sides on that
until they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Arch Manning could have had a very simple recruiting process and said, I'm just going to Texas and that's it, and I'm going to be very conservative in the media until he's not going to Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that were, I'm not
right.
So, not getting Arch Manning rumors started here. I'm just saying.
What do I need to hit the breaking news?
No, there's no.
You don't have any inside information.
There's no inside information behind that. I'm just saying that because he didn't play up the process in the media doesn't mean that he's a certain lock, right? Things can change. Your quarterback coach can get an offensive coordinator's position, can get a head coaching job somewhere else, and that completely changed the game in a big-time player's recruitment. It's a little bit too early to tell, even though early signing period on December 21st is coming. It's not too far away, just over a couple of months away. As these schools
what day is it?
December 21st this year. So it's actually this year the week after
state championships.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good for you.
Nice.
Is it? Yeah, I guess it is.
You get to,
I'd be interested to see how it goes. I do think
maybe it's bad for you. I don't know.
I think it brings more intrigue to the state title games from a recruiting perspective for sure, because there are going to be guys who aren't signed yet.
Yeah.
And now recently they've all been
that's a great point.
signed, so I think there will be a little bit more reason to tune in to some of the state championship stuff if you're.
I also just get to see you more, which makes me happy.
Yeah, I'll be here.
I know. Greg Powers, next level athlete. Follow him.